you ever come across a man complaining of not being respected by his spouse? Have you ever come across a man complaining that he's not being respected in that union? If you are that man complaining, all of a sudden your woman has changed, has stopped respecting you. Today in this video I'm going to highlight 6 things every man must consider for a woman to respect her. My name is Godwin. I mostly post about videos about relationship and marriage. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing to the channel so that every time when I post videos like this one, you'll be the first person to know. Factor to consider number 1 is accountability. A man must be responsible for every words, for every decision, for any words or action being taken in that union relationship. A man, you must make sure if you are implementing some principle or rules, make sure you are the person being lead as an example. Make sure you do the right thing as a man. Most of the times, men sometimes do treat themselves as if they want to be women. On actual sense, men must always be responsible, making sure that they are being leaders and also leading as an example. Let me talk about integrity. A man must always maintain and demonstrate moral principles. There must be some certain situation we are talking about some certain things. On the other hand, you are the person who is actually contributing to the problems. A man, once you implement some certain rules, you yourself, you should always make sure that those rules that you are implementing, you're also demonstrating them. You're putting them in that right direction. You're talking of that right direction. You yourself, you're making sure that you are doing the right thing. It's very important. Every woman who sees these qualities in you, she'll be able to respect you. She'll be able to be very submissive to you on a mutual level and also on a maturity level. Let me talk about validating each other's feeling. There must be some situation whereby you are in a conflict or misunderstanding. The only key to that, to validate each other's feeling, is just open communication. No marriage is successful without communication. No marriage can be sustained for a very long period of time without an open and good discussion in that union. Validating each other's feeling, to know how your partner painful is about the things that you did, to know how your husband or your wife painful is by the things that was done, is through an open discussion. That's the only way you can validate each other's feeling and also validate each other's companion. Let me talk about the other thing, respectful emotional intelligence. These are some of the things men you need to be mutualizing or reasoning with our spouses, because we need to be knowing that some certain things that we are doing, it might hurt her. Some certain things, words that you are doing are not adding positively to her life. Most of these women are actually being affected by the bad word that men use. Once a man uses a bad word, definitely she's going to be impacted negatively. It's very important to consider that women are mostly amused or controlled by men's word, depending with the kind of word that is using. It's very important to consider this as a man. Let me talk about boundaries. A man who doesn't have boundaries is a useless man. A man who doesn't have a boundary doesn't deserve to be respected. A man needs to have boundaries. If you are talking about to your spouse or to your family, to stop doing some pathetic things that you have actually observed to yourself, you are preaching to them to stop that. You make sure you are leading as an example. You make sure you are doing those things so that they cope with your word through your actions. It's very important. A man must be walking the talk. A man must always speak to what he does. Minus to which most women tender and consider less and full of disrespect, because men doesn't move their talk, doesn't move their words. If you love this, consider subscribing to the channel. If you are new, I mostly post about videos about relationship and marriage. Thank you so much for reaching this video to the end. Every communication is always successful through mutual respect, understanding, and also be with a partner who contribute positively to your life and also to your marriage or union. Thank you so much and stay blessed.